Hello and welcome to the Philippines. Life in the Philippines. No face mask, no use of elevator. Getting serious around here. This is at the condo that I'm staying in and going over to 7-Eleven, then to Ayala to get a few items. We are back here at almost July, end of June 2016. Cebu City is basically part of a tri-city area. It actually has several towns and cities within the metro area. But Cebu City itself is under a more strict quarantine right now. So whereas a week and a half ago, many of the businesses were starting to open up, people were starting to go back to work, pretty much shut everything down. The only thing open is essential grocery stores and that type of thing. There is a 7-Eleven up here that's been closed for over 3 months, and they just opened back up. They canceled about 1 week ago. They canceled all passes in Cebu City in an effort to stop people from going out. So people had been it was a process a week or longer for people to get passes so they could go out and get food and other essential items. And then they took them all away from everybody. And it's been over a week. They're still trying to figure out how to distribute passes once again, one per household. Uh, One foreigner that lives here in the condo had gone down to the barangay offices, village offices, to see if he could get one. They told him, no, we're going to be delivering them house to house. And that's what we've read in all the news, that they will be delivering them. And a week later, still, I don't know of anybody who's received any passes. My friend has a bit of some kind of work pass that allows her some movement, which helps. But many people have no passes, and you can see virtually nobody on the street. Average day under general quarantine, you would have a number of people walking out there, keeping their distance, doing well. And my observation was that most people, in fact, were keeping their distance. I listened to and wearing their masks and all that stuff that is advised, no problem. I listened to a very interesting interview on a YouTube channel, Dr. John Campbell. I mentioned him in a previous video, and I'll probably put a link at the end of this video. Was I think a little over an hour, very interesting. And he made a statement later in the interview, one of the top doctors in the Philippines, that 80% plus of the population of the Philippines are the poor Filipinos. Many of them, the majority of them, live many people to a house. Very crowded conditions. Not possible to social distance. And he was saying that there is some strong suspicion that the vast majority, because that's where they're finding a lot of these cases, is in these very poor areas, that in fact they have reached what they call herd immunity. That's not a PC term, politically correct term, but where a huge number of the people, huge percentage of the people have had and have developed some immunity in those places. For the past over 3 months, since the middle of March, pretty much the Philippines has been shut down. Now there are a number of places here in much of June that have gone into a general quarantine, which many more businesses are allowed to open up. Bars are not allowed to open up. Many other types of businesses are not allowed to open up. They're trying to get more and more companies to do work from home, which many companies will just do that. They're starting to understand, hey, we can have our people work from home. We don't need these offices anymore. So there'll be a lot of commercial property on the market, a lot more than there was before, I think. And I heard a joke the other day. Elevators don't break; they just turn into stairs. Um, anyway, the health food store here, Healthy Options, it's open, and the food store, that's it. A week ago, they have their checkpoints out. They have brought in a bunch of military people to Cebu City to help enforce checkpoints. They had been getting a little more lenient, but still, like I said, most people had been wearing masks, keeping their distance, even in the stores that were opened up. Not a very long, not many people out shopping because they're not allowed out. They don't have their new passes. Liquor ban apparently back into effect in Cebu City anyway. There's a question in the U.S. I know too. Stores like Walmart, Target, some of the big box stores are allowed to be open, and yet all the smaller stores, even though they sell food, sell clothing. Walmart sells clothing, Target sells clothing and tools. They're not. So there really is some discrimination against many businesses. Watched a news clip the other day here in the Philippines, and a guy with one of the placement offices was saying 30 to 50% of Filipinos have been out of work. And that's, that's millions and millions and millions of people without a paycheck, without money, because so many of people here and around the world live paycheck to paycheck. And they are hungry, and they're getting restless, I believe. There is a little bit of good news. You could go out and fly a kite. Actually, I think that is illegal too, and they are trying to chase down the kids that might be out flying kites. But occasionally I see kites, sometimes a number of kites out there being flown. But seriously, there is some good news. I have heard from a few of you. One couple, he and his wife were able to fly here from, I think, San Francisco or Los Angeles. They were able to get on one of those flights. I know somebody else down Camigan Island, John, down Camigan Island. I think his wife has a flight here in the coming week to come back here. So hopefully, I think she's had a number of flights that have ended up being canceled. Hopefully she will make it here. As far as travel, pretty much all travel is shut down. They do have a number of buses running. They had some buses running in Cebu City, but they shut all the transportation down again in Cebu City. But the other places, Mandaue City, other places around the country, they're starting to allow a few jeepneys to run, a few tricycles, certain areas, because it's very, very difficult to travel, and you're not allowed to travel for leisure. Boracay Resort is open. A couple other areas are open, but they're finding that the people are, they've scared the people enough where they don't want to spend money. They don't want to go out and be around other people. Very few ferries. Most of the ferries that are running that I see out there, they are freight ferries. Very rarely will they have a passenger ferry, sometimes to transport LSI. What is an LSI? A local stranded individual, I think. Usually is in Filipinos who have been repatriated from other countries, who are now stuck in Manila, stuck in Cebu City, waiting to go back to their home province. And I'll show you a list of some of those here. Here's a list of hundreds of people. This was just at one barangay hall in Mabolo, I think. And this is down on Mango Avenue near Fuentios Minya Circle. Big old tall Horizon 101 condominium down there. Anyway, there's thousands and thousands of people who are trying to get back to their home provinces here in the Philippines, Filipinos, and unable to travel. Many of them are still in quarantine. Many have passed out of their 14-day quarantine. Some have been in quarantine for 20 days or longer, from what I've read, because the tests aren't coming back as fast as they should, or the paperwork for the test are not coming back. Buses, transportation, they've got social distancing, they've got these types of things to try to keep people separated. Markets like this, plastic covers to try to keep people separated and people not. This was in a market, I think in not positive, maybe over in Mandawi, and it was not. They're in a more lenient uh, general quarantine, so this is not the strict time, and pretty much everybody wearing masks. A lot of people trying to social distance, but if you got a certain number of people, it's just some places, sometimes it's just not possible to do it. Just read today, 26 countries, I believe, are set to allow Filipinos back into their country. And that's because Filipinos, overseas Filipino workers, uh, 10%, about 10% of the population, close to 10 million people, many millions of people, Filipinos go overseas and work as nurses, as caretakers, as teachers all over the world. Will there be any travel in the next month, July? I doubt it. Maybe they'll start getting a few ferries up by the end of July. Um, Air traffic, if you have a business, if you're traveling for medical reasons, perhaps a medical tourist, maybe you could squeeze in on one of those deals. Not sure, but a lot of the hospitals, clinics are still pretty much shut down here. Anyway, thanks for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy, and as things change, I will try to keep everybody updated. I've been watching the news and information from other countries as well, and all the Southeast Asian countries seem pretty slow in opening up.